about the money.
Yeah, I agree 110%. Send us that video, Richard. I thank you for the call. We've got Carly back on. If she's been back on the entire segment, she heard the Today Show, and then on top of that, heard me read that 1.5.1 out of the WHO pandemic planning document. What do you think now, Carly?
You had asked, am I going to take the shot? And my answer is, well, no. I have an autistic son who's 26 years old now, so I'm afraid I'm fully schooled on shots and all of it. And so, but this is the one thing I fear, the one thing that makes me feel more vulnerable than any of this other stuff. For some reason, this is the one. I feel they'll have to tackle me and hold me down.
Well, no, I hope there are more people like you. And really, they put out some studies last week admitting, well, they tried to play it off like, oh, less than 30% would take the swine flu vaccination. They did this poll if they offered it. And really, when you read the paper, it's not less than 30%, it's less than 20%. 18% said that they would take the vaccination, which means that really their psyop, their psychological warfare against the American populace didn't work as well as they had planned. So they are going to continue to put this on the cover of magazines. This is going to be the feature story on CNN, Fox News, and they will try to make you take the vaccine. They want to see how many people will do it voluntarily. We'll come back after this. It's the Infowarrior with Jason Bermas, prisonplanet.tv, Infowars.com. And you know, just one more point on this swine flu hype / hoax / pandemic / vaccination, operation is this story. I've covered it here before, but, for new listeners or people that may have missed, some of my 3-hour show that I do 5 nights a week. Swine flu, inflatable mortuaries and express funerals planned for flu pandemic. Inflatable mortuaries, 24-hour cremations, and express funerals could all be used to dispose of thousands of bodies in a flu pandemic. And they're saying a pandemic in the UK with a death toll as high as 750,000 people, 750,000. This is out of the Telegraph. This is mainstream news. Inflatable mortuaries and crematoriums for mass death. That's why I cover the swine flu, folks. That's why, I keep talking about it because they keep talking about it. And I've got these WikiLeaks documents from Monday and Wednesday where they're planning for an H1N1 vaccination campaign. You can't make this stuff up. All right, we're going to go back to your calls in just a minute. We're going to go to Matt, Brian, and Artem. Let me see this one right here. Arms sent by U.S. may be falling into Taliban hands. Insurgents in Afghanistan's fighting from some of the poorest and most remote regions of Earth have managed for years to maintain an intensive guerrilla war against material superior American and Afghan forces. That's a total lie. That on its face. New York Times, you're a liar. I know people who were in Afghanistan. Literally after we took that country over in less than a month, it was about 3 weeks, there was no real action there. And the guerrilla warfare going on in Afghanistan is very, very sparse indeed. But they need to hype it up. They need to hype it on up, and they'll tell you a little bit of truth. Arms sent by U.S. may be falling into Taliban's hands. Of course they are. They ship in the weapons, and then they go through their little Pakistani ISI black ops, and they disperse it to these little militant groups all over the place, and they set them up to be killed. They don't want to say it's by design. It's to keep the United States government there. Oh, Afghanistan's a big problem. We need to redistribute our forces from Iraq into Afghanistan. We got to get bin Laden. Bin Laden's dead, folks. The chances that Osama bin Laden is alive after being on kidney dialysis in 2001. Let me repeat that. On kidney dialysis in 2001 for Hep C, by the way. Hep C are really slim to nil. And you haven't seen them all over the TV or all over the radio. I know, bin Laden puts out a new audio tape. How do we know? How do we know? How can we trust this illegitimate government when Cheney is running assassination squads worldwide with our good friends, the CIA? And by the way, Hirsch, I have the actual interview with Hirsch that they alluded to all these crazy things in some mainline articles. He refuted a lot of that. Raw Story has the story, but we have the actual interview posted over at the Infowarrior.com. Go check it out. All right, let's go to Matt in New York. Matt, you're on the line.
Hey, man, I'm new to the whole New World Order thing, man, and I'm still learning a lot about what's going on. I was just curious what you thought about the new credit card bill they just passed and where you thought it fit into the whole elite's plan to crash the economy.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. All I saw is that they're reining in the credit card companies. I didn't read beyond that because it's probably legislation to further empower them. What is the gist of this legislation that they're going to go after the credit card companies for? What, he take it? He dropped. Damn it. I saw that headline in Yahoo News while I was going through my email today, and to me it just didn't sit right because the day before yesterday they were talking about how a lot of the bailout money went to pay off the debt from these banks to the credit card companies. So the credit card companies were sitting pretty. I don't know what this new legislation is. I'm going to need to look into it before I make any comments on it. But it was just such a mainline story and made it sound like, oh, Obama's getting tough on the credit card companies. Obama hasn't gotten tough on nobody, no way, no how. I mean, they're making excuses saying that the Senate won't fund the shutting down of Guantanamo Bay. Hey, here's how you shut it down. You ship everybody off and you lock the doors. And that's it. You have a couple guards over at the base. You have your regular base personnel. You shut down the prison. It's not hard. They're saying, oh, we can't put them into maximum security prisons because they'll just recruit other people to commit terror. Excuse me, none of the people in Guantanamo Bay have committed terror whatsoever at all. We don't even know who's there. All I know is that they're in an orange jumpsuit. There's sensory deprivation going on all over the place. And there's pictures and video of you raping children there. And when I say you, I'm talking about U.S. Armed Forces. And if that pisses some of you off, well, it pisses me off too. I am livid. Let's shut it down. It's not that hard. Senate won't do it. Oh, poor Obama. We'll be back after this.